In GST, government focused on increasing tax base with multiple tax rates structure. Multiple tax rates structure. Okay. At present, GST is the largest income provider. GST is the largest income provider for the government among indirect taxes. Okay. To implement GST, President of India notified establishment of GST Council. Okay. So put the heading GST Council. GST Council. It is a constitutional body. Established under Article 279A. Its chairman is Union Finance Minister. It consists of Union Finance Minister. MOS, Minister of State Finance. Minister of State Finance. State Finance Ministers. And Finance Ministers representing legislative assemblies. Finance Ministers representing legislative assemblies. In GST Council, 2/3 voting power is given to states. 1/3 voting power is given to center. 1/3 voting power is given to center. Any decision in GST Council Any decision in GST Council. Any decision in GST Council is taken with 3/4 majority. 3/4 majority. I said something. So GST Council recommendations are binding on the government or not? No. Supreme Court clarified that. Next. Supreme Court clarified that GST Council recommendations are not binding on the government. GST Council recommendations are not binding on the government. So compulsory followaల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. Who decides GST rates and slabs? It is GST Council only. Okay. So this is about GST Council and previous year question also. So who is the chairman of GST Council? Finance Minister. Is it constitutional body or not? It is a constitutional body. Who has more voting power? So this is basic idea of GST. But again, when IGST will be applicable? On the goods, if the place of production is different, place of consumption is different. GST is implemented through dual structure. GST is implemented through dual structure. In which CGST and SGST is collected. However, IGST is applicable. If production state and consumption state, are different. Okay. So yesterday I told you something called GST compensation. So what is this GST compensation, sir? Who will pay compensation to whom? The central government promised compensation to states. So after implementing GST, if GST revenue is equal or greater than VAT, no need to pay compensation. If GST revenue is less than VAT, the difference amount will be compensated by whom? Central government. So this was explicitly mentioned in GST compensation, but it was guaranteed for how many years, sir? Initially for 5 years. Now the center is asking, states are asking further extension. Center is considering. So GST compensation, unless and until it is explicitly mentioned, the states were not willing to give consent to it, because we said constitutional amendment bill, when parliament is trying to make a law on a state subject, not only approval of the parliament is required, but also consent of half of the states is required. Article 368 amendment procedure of constitution. So ఎందుకు స్టేట్స్ ఒప్పుకోలేదు ఇనిషియల్గా? జిఎస్టీ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడం వల్ల రాష్ట్రాలు వాళ్ళు నచ్చినట్లు ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్సెస్ విధించచ్చా? నో, దే లాస్ట్. హూ కెన్ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్? ఓన్లీ జిఎస్టీ కౌన్సిల్. సో వాళ్ళు ఏం చెప్పారు? వీఆర్ లూజింగ్ అవర్ అటానమీ. సో ఇఫ్ సంథింగ్ గోస్ రాంగ్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్, వీ వాంట్ compensation. So who agreed for compensation? That is the reason why 122 bill in 2014 finally became act in 2016. Implementation came in 2017 and our syllabus got increased. Correct only? So this is called as GST compensation. Recently government extended GST compensation cess till March 31st, 2026. What is cess, sir? So central government is collecting GST compensation cess. Where central government is collecting GST compensation cess, sir? On sinful goods. What are sinful goods, sir? ఏమైనా పాపాలు చేశారా? ఏమైనా పాపాలు చేశారా? చెప్తారా అన్ని నిజాలు? ఏమైనా పుణ్యాలు చేశారా? వాట్ ఈజ్ సిన్ఫుల్ గుడ్? సండే ఈజ్ ఏ హాలిడే. ఏం చేస్తారు సండే హాలిడే వస్తే? నిద్రపోవడమేనా? వాట్ విల్ యూ డూ ఆన్ సండే డియర్? ఇంకా ప్లాన్స్ ఏం లేవు సార్. క్లాస్కి వస్తారా సండే? క్లాస్ లేకపోయినా? ఓ మై గాడ్. వాట్ విల్ యూ డూ ఆన్ వీకెండ్స్, సెలబ్రేషన్స్? ఫుడ్ అంతేనా? ఫుడ్, స్లీప్, రెస్ట్, సార్. Consumption of certain goods are not considered to be good for human health, which are called as sinful goods and sinful activities. So on these sinful goods or sinful activities, GST compensation cess is collected. Cigarettes, tobacco, pan masala, drugs, certain intoxicants. So if people are consuming, so they're considered to be sinful activities. So పాపాల మీద పన్నులు, పాపాల మీద కాదు, పాపాల మీద పన్నులు, that is called as sin tax or sinful goods or GST compensation cess is collected on sinful goods. See, everybody knows that if they consume those goods, their lifespan will decrease. But still they are consuming. Why? They are addicted to it. True. Or sometimes not addicted to it. They feel life is nothing but enjoyment only. So if you don't take also you will go. If you take also you will go. Going is anyway common. So I mean, that is some of the people's attitude. So maybe that is their choice. Who are we to judge them? That is their fundamental right. Right to drink also fundamental right only. That is their choice. Correct na? So you'll see all advertisements. ఇకపై జీవితం ఎప్పుడు అలా ఉండదు, రత్నాలు లాంటి ఇద్దరు పిల్లలు, ధూమపానం, మద్యపానం ఆరోగ్యానికి హానికరం. Like that, before starting of any movie, the hero or heroine will come and tell. Correct only? Say no to drugs, say no to studies, say no to coaching, say no to sleep. Sinful activities. Studying is not a sinful activity. Definitely. WhatsApp chatting, sinful activity or not? Depend upon the number. So it depends upon the number. Correct only? Studying, sinful activity or not? Very much. అందుకే చదవట్లేదు సార్. Forcible study is a sinful activity. See, it's purely based on the morals of the person. What is good, what is not so good, law will not decide, the person will decide. What is sinful according to you may not be sinful according to me. What is sinful according to me may not be sinful according to you. Sleeping in the class, sinful activity or not? Sleeping in the class, sinful activity or not? సార్ హాస్టల్లో ఏసీ లేదు సార్, అందుకోసం ఇక్కడికి వస్తున్నాం సార్, ఏసీ పక్కనే కూర్చుంటున్నాం సార్. వై సార్? అకార్డింగ్ టు మీ స్లీపింగ్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్ ఇస్ ఏ సిన్ఫుల్ యాక్టివిటీ, బట్ అకార్డింగ్ టు యూ ఇట్ ఇస్ ఎ ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్. So it is about the morals of the person here. It's not about specific, but everybody knows certain activities are not good for the human health, but still people are consuming them. On them cess additionally is collected. For what purpose that additional cess is collected? To give compensation to whom? States. That's why what is that is called as GST compensation cess. Got some clarity? What is GST compensation? What is GST compensation cess? So what is the purpose of GST compensation cess, sir? The additional extra collected through this is used for providing compensation to states. So this is called as GST compensation cess. Then GST IN number and GST network. So do you have a PAN card? PAN card unda dear? PAN card unda? PAN card number? You don't know your PAN card number? Oh my god. మీ పాన్ కార్డేనా, మీ ఫోటోయేనా, మీ డేట్ ఆఫ్ బర్తేనా ఉందా ఇవన్నీ పాన్ కార్డ్ మీద? ఎవరు తెలుసు సార్? వాట్ ద యూజ్ ఆఫ్ పాన్ కార్డ్? ఎస్, యూనిక్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఐడెంటిటీ. Similarly, for any business or enterprise in India, there is a unique financial identity number which is given for business transactions, which is called as GSTIN. It's a 15-digit alphanumeric number which will be mentioned on the bill. Next time you observe, wherever you go, whenever a bill is given or invoice given, top head of the bill only GSTIN number will be there. GST identification number, 15-digit alphanumeric code. So first 2 digit consist of the state code. Next 10 digit is the PAN number of the organization. So 13th digit by default is Z. So if you look at 13th is actually state registration code. So 14th and then 15th. So check code, error code, all that. So which means if you look at, no need to remember the number. So why these 15 digits are unique, sir? Based on it, we'll identify in which state the business is registered. Next, what is the company identity? Next, in which sector they are working, and in that whether they are filing the return or not. Just like PAN card is unique for each person, GSTIN is unique for each business enterprise. However small it is, however big it is, this is called as GSTIN number. So what is the use of GSTIN number, sir? Why do we ask for bill or invoice? Why do we ask for bill, dear? What is the reason for bill? You went to supermarket, you purchased all groceries. Why are you asking bill? Em pani manaku bill tho? How much we paid, sir? We wanted to know. Correct. Bill tarvata intiki velliన tarvata check chedam. Inka you paid GST to whom, dear? సో వాళ్ళు కరెక్ట్గా గవర్నమెంట్ పే చేశారో లేదో మనకే తెలుస్తుంది. అగేన్స్ట్ GSTIN number, whatever you paid, that much GST has gone to whom? Government. So who will monitor all this? GST inspector. They will come and check whether GST council rates are followed in shopping mall or supermarket or not, whether they are charging extra or not, whether they are really correcting or not. All these are verified. GST network, Airtel network, BSL network. Similarly, so when you go to a supermarket or a shopping mall, when you swipe the card, so GST bill is generated. The digital infrastructure that is required for implementing GST is called as GST network, which is a public-private collaborated network. What is the meaning of public-private collaborated network? What is the meaning of public-private collaborated network? Completely not owned by the government, completely not owned by the private. Combination of both public as well as private. So earlier actually in GST network, 24.5% with the central government, 24.5% with the state government, remaining was combination of private people also. So suppose you have sent a WhatsApp SMS to your friend. When the SMS will be delivered or WhatsApp message will be delivered? First your phone should have network, your friend phone should have network, you should know friend WhatsApp number also. Then only. So when you pay the amount is finally credited to CGST and SGST through what? GST network. The enabling digital infrastructure which implements GST is called as GST network. For each trader, for each business person to give unique identity, just like a PAN card is given for each individual, the number allocated is called as GST IN number. So next time whenever you see any hotel, restaurant, observe GST IN number. First 2 digits indicate state code. Telangana, I am not sure which number. Next time ekkadaina supermarket bill lo chudandi. So almost Telangana lo aa business register ayi unte anni GST bill lo first 2 letters will indicate the state code. 02, 04, 03, 08, 01, 33, something like that. Okay. So enduku kavali sir ee GST number and GST bill manaki enduku kavali? Bill ledu, పని చేయట్లేదు, ఏం చేయాలి? You purchase something from Lulu Mall. Okay, you purchase something from Lulu Mall, correct? So when you purchase something from that Lulu Mall, they gave a bill. After going home, something is not working properly. You can go back and exchange. Yes. Also, whatever applicable GST you paid, whether it is going to the government CGST, HGST or not, who will verify? GST inspectors will come and verify. Okay. So this is called as GSTN number, GST network, GST compensation, GST compensation cess also. So we'll write one by one. GST compensation. First we'll write compensation, then we'll write compensation cess. GST compensation. Initially, when GST bill was introduced, states were not willing to accept. Implementation of GST. As GST is collected by consumption state, at point of destination, production states asked for compensation. It was agreed by the center that union government will pay. It was agreed by the center that union government will provide compensation to states. Union government will provide compensation to states. Union government will provide compensation to states if states do not get revenue neutral position. If states do not get revenue neutral position, initially GST compensation was guaranteed for 5 years. Guaranteed for 5 years. 2017 to 2022. For 5 years from 2017 to 2022. At present, center is considering extension of GST compensation to states. Okay, dear. So this is story of GST compensation. So initially, how much it was guaranteed for? 5 years. Next, GST compensation cess. GST compensation cess, CSS. GST compensation cess. It is collected by Union government. It is collected by Union government on consumption of sinful goods, which will be given as compensation to states. Because already we know what is the purpose of collecting cess. For specific purpose. So what is the purpose of collecting GST compensation cess? To give compensation to states. That is called as GST compensation cess. GST IN. Full form GST identification number. GST identification number. It's a 15-digit alphanumeric unique number given for each business enterprise for taxation purpose. So earlier they used to register under which mechanism? VAT mechanism. Now they have to register under which mechanism? GST IN. The 15 digits in GST IN number, consist of first one, first 2 digits represents state code. First 2 digits represents state code. First 2 digits represent state code. Next 10 digits represent next 10 digits represent business entity. Business entity. Thirteenth digit indicate number of registrations in the state. 13th digit indicate number of registrations in the state. 14th digit indicates by default Z. 14th digits indicate by default Z. Z by default Z. Zebra, Zoo, Judio, Z. 15th digit is a check code. 15th digit is a check, CHECK, check code. Okay? So it's okay, no need to know, but in UPSC they didn't ask, groups exam they ask this. GST is how many number code? 15 digit number code. So in GST number, first digit, 2 digit, 10 digit, something like that. Then this one. GST network. After that, GST network. GST network. It provides digital infrastructure. It provides digital infrastructure for implementing GST. For implementing GST. It is a public-private collaborated network. It is a public-private collaborated network. Public-private collaborated network. It enables various stakeholders. It enables various stakeholders to interconnect with each other. To interconnect with each other for implementation of GST. To interconnect with each other for implementation of GST. Okay, dear. So this is called a GST network, GSTN, GST compensation, GST compensation cess, and so on. So what is GST council? Constitutional body or statutory body? Constitutional body. Who will decide GST rates? GST council only. So single state, can they decide? No. When IGST is applicable? Production state is different. Consumption state is different. Apart from that, NAPA, e-way bill, GST appellate tribunal. What is this e-way bill, sir? Whenever goods are being transported from the production point to the consumption point, goods are crossing the transit point of the state border. Compulsorily, if goods consignment value is above 50,000, they must have to enter the details in GST portal and they have to take a bill. That's why that is called as electronic way bill. A truck is carrying, say, from Hyderabad shoes to Nagpur. So when the truck starts from the godown, they have to enter the details in GST portal. If the goods value is above 50,000, where is the place of the starting, where is the place of distribution, truck number, load, capacity, what is there inside, all those should contain in the bill. So when at check post, when they stop the vehicle, they ask for all these documents, RC of the vehicle, driving license, what is there inside, whether weighing is there done or not, whether they are licensed or not, whether they have the ability to carry or not, whether load is overloading or not, all these are verified. Why should we verify? Safety and security. First of all, whether they are legal or not. So the bill says they are carrying cement load. Seen Pushpa? We don't know. Pushpa is very dangerous, not local, international. Anything can happen. Apart from that, whether tax evasion is happening or not. How can we know tax evasion is happening or not? How can we know tax evasion is happening or not? Who is the owner of the truck? The truck is working for which company? Whether there is an agreement between the two or not, whether that company is registered or not, all that will be verified. Chitti Limited, Alekia Limited. So from there, a pickle is moving. Chitti, Alekia pickles are moving. Whether they are registered or not, whether Chitti really spoke like that or not, all that will be verified. Kada? Definitely. Now I'll give simple example. If you are carrying shoes or chappal, the pair, GST is applicable is 12%. Okay? So to avoid this, what they do? One entire load only left side slippers, one entire load only right side slippers. Both are separated. Lari load lo pair transport cheste GST applicable. So escape avvadaniki em cheyali? Left side vanni oka truck, right side vanni oka truck. GST pay cheyakarledu kada. Godown ki ellina tarvata em cheyochu? That is what they are doing. That is the reason why. So Pushpa is just local Gunda only, but there are so many international Gundas also. When real life Pushpas are there, not movie Pushpas. Unko example, just to understand. If you transport a final product, GST is applicable. So don't transport a final product. Dismantle it. Spare parts will be transported. Finally, the product will be assembled. So all these are different possible varieties. That's the reason why GST network, GST inspectors, of course, they also know, but they will take what they want. That's all. And you become assistant commissioner GST. So you should verify properly. Yes? And whatever you want, you can take home also. Nobody will stop. Because assistant commissioner GST, madam. So if you look at e-way bill, why is it compulsory, sir? See, there might be a chance of anti-national activities also, anti-social activities also. What is anti-national activities? What if they are carrying some explosives inside? You will be surprised. Even these travel buses also, unknowingly some explosives are carried. Actually, they are supposed to not to. Sleeper buses are there. So private travelers, permission is given for what purpose? Passenger purpose. But somewhere will be carrying so many parcels which are actually not permitted. Sir, why? What if something happens? Look at what if we are there in the bus? Window nunchi jump cheyadame. But look at safety of the people. So whenever something goes wrong, then we'll come up with all this. Most of the school buses are actually outdated school buses. They do not have fitness certificate. Only when accident happens and something goes wrong, then some officer is suspended. But otherwise, who is responsible for all this? Look at driving license. నిజంగా డ్రైవింగ్ వచ్చిన వాళ్ళకి డ్రైవింగ్ లైసెన్స్ ఇస్తారా? మన దగ్గర లైసెన్స్ ఉంది, మనకంటే డ్రైవింగ్ వచ్చినట్లా తెలీదు. ఆపోజిట్ వాళ్ళకే తెలియాలి మనకు వస్తుందో లేదో. Which means what? Corruption everywhere. Even for the blind person also driving license will be given. డ్రైవింగ్ చేయాలంటే హార్ట్ ఉండాలి కానీ కళ్ళు ఉండాలని ఎవరు చెప్పారు? So if you just ignore them, it might lead to so many industrial disasters also. That's the reason why, as an officer, you should be very, 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 very strict during office time. Evening time, you can negotiate. Okay? So this is called as GST e-way bill. NAPA, National Anti-Profiteering Authority. Sir, what is the meaning of this anti-profiteering? Sir, if somebody is not following GST rules, or if somebody is going for GST evasion, or the benefit of the GST is not passed on to people to take action on them, a separate organization is established which is called as NAPA, National Anti-Profiteering Authority. A simple example, on chocolates, based on the type of the ingredients, GST applicable is 5%. But that shopping mall or the supermarket is charging 12% instead of 5%. We do not know. See, first of all, we don't know what is GST and how much GST is collecting each of them, because we are so busy in WhatsApp, Instagram, all this. We don't have time. So naturally, as a consumer, we don't have awareness also. So a GST inspector is coming. According to the slab of the GST council, only 5% used to be collected on the chocolate. But the shopping mall is collecting 12%. So what the GST inspector will do and the officers will do? Settlement will happen. Don't worry, sir, we'll send the chocolate, sir. Madam's birthday, it seems, sir. Otherwise, what will happen? Penalty will be imposed. That is called as National Anti-Profiteering Authority. There was some issue regarding GST on popcorn. Yes? When you go to multiplexes, the GST collected on popcorn include so many GSTs. Finally, popcorn bucket cost is more than the cost of the ticket. కదా? సత్వమాల్, ప్రసాద్ ఐమాక్స్ వెళ్ళారా? సినిమాకి వెళ్ళారా? ఏ సినిమా కవర్ చేశారు? కుబేరా ఓన్లీ. Let's say movie ticket is some 250-300, but popcorn cost is some 700-800. Who told you to buy popcorn there? Who are the people who are coming there? Rich people. That's why they can buy. After you come out from the multiplex, outside same popcorn is available for 30 rupees. But why people are ready to pay 700 rupees in that multiplex and pay? Because they are giving importance not to the popcorn, to the person who came with them there. That's the reason why they are buying the popcorn. ఎవరి కోసం కొంటున్నారు ఆ బకెట్ పాప్కార్న్? వాళ్ళతో పాటు వచ్చిన ఆ ఇంపార్టెంట్ వ్యక్తి కోసం. That's the reason why they are ready to pay. You have the capacity to pay, you paid here. Who told you to buy there? If they are clever, what they'll do? Carry popcorn inside. See, it is based on consumption. Choice. See, sometimes stimuli factor, sometimes kids are crying. That's the reason why parents are buying, probably. Kids are crying. That's the reason why parents are buying, maybe, probably. So what does it mean? Someone who is coming to a multiplex to enjoy the luxurious service also has to be ready to pay luxurious tax also, entertainment tax also, GST also on popcorn. Pay for it. That's what court said. If you don't want to pay, don't pay. Don't come at all. Enjoy happily at home for the same 799 bucket popcorn. Look at watch Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever at home only and do whatever you want for the 799, 899. So it's not that multiplex is exploiting that. See, to maintain that ambience, to maintain that cleanliness, to maintain all that, really they will get profit on food and beverages only, but not on the movie tickets. Because regarding movie tickets, there is a guideline given by the government. You could not charge not more than this. That's the reason why what is the option available for them? Food and beverages. That is the reason why prices are high. So now when you go to movie along with GF or BF, I mean good friend or best friend, so you'll be explaining them in the movie about GST, e-way bill, NAPA, all this. That's it. In the interval itself, they will go away. So this is the story of GST, e-way bill, NAPA. Mari into study focus aithe ela. So why, sir? It is, see, natural for them. You are the businessman. You are spending something on infrastructure. You want to get it back. That's the reason why price is done like that. Then what is this, sir? GST Appellate Tribunal, sir. Appellate Authority. Daddy is not listening to you in home. So whom do you appeal? Mummy is the Appellate Authority. Both mummy and father are not listening to you. Brother is the Appellate Authority, sister is the Appellate Authority. All of them are not listening. Go away from home. Kill them. No. Movie grandmother, grandfather. ఎవ్వరు వినట్లేదు. అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? నిరాహార దీక్ష, ఫాస్టింగ్, బ్లాక్మెయిలింగ్ చేస్తారు కదా అప్పుడప్పుడు. బ్లాక్మెయిలింగ్ సైలెంట్గా బయటకు వెళ్ళి తినేసి వచ్చి ఇంట్లో ఏం తిన్నట్టు నటిస్తారు కదా. వాట్ ఈ మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ అపలేట్? ఇఫ్ అవర్ ఇష్యూ ఈజ్ నాట్ అడ్రస్డ్ అట్ ద లోయర్ లెవెల్, వీఆర్ complaining at the next level. That is called as appellate. In polity also you study Supreme Court as original jurisdiction as appellate authority. Judgment is given by High Court. If either of the party is not happy with that, they can appeal at next level. Similarly here, GST Appellate Tribunal. So generally what happens, sir? Adjudicating authority, Appellate Authority. So GST Appellate Tribunal, High Court and Supreme Court. So instead of directly going to High Court, we established a level for GST complaints, that is called as GST Appellate Tribunal. Adjudicating authority means the officer, GST officer. So if GST adjudicating officer imposed a penalty, you can appeal that to the appellate GST officer only. Suppose assistant commissioner imposed a penalty, you can appeal that to the deputy commissioner or commissioner. After this, one mid-level is created, that is called as GST Appellate Tribunal, because instead of directly going to High Court, if you go to a High Court for small purpose, by the time judgment comes, what will happen? Indian courts are so fast and so luxury దట్ భారతదేశంలో డబ్బులు అధికారం ఉన్న వాళ్ళకే న్యాయ వ్యవస్థలు పనిచేస్తాయి. ఇది చరిత్ర. కుబేరా మూవీ. ట్రూ ఓన్లీ. డబ్బులు ఉన్నారే అధికారం ఉండాలి, అప్పుడు మాత్రమే కోర్టులు మన కోసం పనిచేస్తాయి తప్ప. సో డబ్బులు అధికారం లేకపోతే నో, జస్టిస్ విల్ నాట్ బి డెలివర్డ్ ఇన్ ద ఇండియన్ జ్యుడిషియరీ. దట్ ద రీజన్ వై పేదవాళ్ళంతా కోర్టుకి వెళ్ళాలని అనుకోవట్లేదు. లోకల్ గుండా దగ్గరికి వెళ్తే కనీసం సెటిల్మెంట్ అన్నా చేస్తాడు తొందరగా. హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్లో ఫోన్లో పని అయిపోతుంది. ఇద్దరు బ్రదర్స్ గొడవపోతున్నారు 10 ఎకరాల ల్యాండ్ కోసం. ఇద్దరు గుండా దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళారు. ఓకే, లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ 4 acres ఫర్ యూ, రైట్ సైడ్ 4 acres ఫర్ యూ, ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ ఫర్ మీ, ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈజ్ సాల్వ్. హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్లో అయిపోయింది. అదే కోర్టుకి వెళ్తే లాయర్లకి జడ్జిలకి ఇచ్చే డబ్బుల వల్ల ఇద్దరు పూర్ అవుతారు. జడ్జిమెంట్ వచ్చేసరికి 30 సంవత్సరాలు అవుతాయి. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఇండియన్ రియాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద కోర్ట్. ద కోర్ట్ ఆల్సో దెర్ షుడ్ బి టైం క్లాక్ ఉండాలి. ప్రతి కేసు ఇంత టైంలో జడ్జిమెంట్ ఇవ్వాలి. వాళ్ళు జడ్జిలు అయితే మనుషులు కాదా? దేర్ ఆల్సో షుడ్ బి అకౌంటబుల్. దొరికారుగా ఇంట్లోనే నోట్ల కట్టలు దొరికాయిగా. అంటే కరప్షన్ ఇస్ దేర్ ఎవ్రీవేర్. బలవంతుడికి బలహీనంగాను, బలహీనుడికి బలవంతంగాను పనిచేసేదే భారతదేశపు చట్టం. బలహీనుడికి బలవంతంగాను, బలవంతుడికి బలహీనంగాను పనిచేసేదే భారతదేశపు చట్టం. Indian judiciary is too weak for too strong people. Too strong for too weak people. So ఈ కథలన్నీ మనకి ఎందుకు సార్? So let's go to GST appellate tribunal instead of directly going to High Court and Supreme Court. Because ఎంతో కొంత లంచం ఇచ్చి ఇక్కడే సాల్వ్ చేసుకున్నాం, మళ్ళీ ఈ కోర్టుకి వెళ్తే ఏమవుతుందో తెలియదు. Because that is a reality. In a civil case, by the time judgment comes, just 30 years, 40 years only. అంటే తాత ముత్తాత ఎప్పుడో కేసు ఫైల్ చేస్తే ఆ గ్రాండ్ చిల్డ్రన్ ఎప్పుడో ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారు. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. That's the reason why we introduced new status or new level to resolve the GST related complaints, that is called GST appellate tribunal. ఇక్కడ కూడా ప్రాబ్లమ్ సాల్వ్ అవ్వలేదు, దెన్ గో టు హై కోర్ట్, దెన్ గో టు సుప్రీం కోర్ట్. సో లాయర్స్ అండ్ జడ్జెస్ విల్ బికమ్ రిచ్, బట్ బోత్ ద పార్టీస్ విల్ బికమ్ పువర్. ఎవరు గెలిచినా సరే కోర్టులో ఇద్దరికీ అన్యాయమే, ఇద్దరు మోసపోతారు. గెలిచిన వాళ్ళు, ఓడిపోయిన వాళ్ళు కోర్టులో ఏడుస్తారు, గెలిచిన వాళ్ళు ఇంటికి వచ్చి ఏడుస్తారు. ఎందుకు? ఆ జడ్జిమెంట్ రావడం కోసం వాళ్ళు ఎంత ఖర్చు పెట్టారో పాపం వాళ్ళకే తెలుసు. అందుకోసం ఏమైనా చిన్న చిన్న గొడవలు వస్తే ఏం చేయాలి? ఇద్దరు మాట్లాడుకోవాలి, ఐస్ క్రీమ్ తినుకుంటూ పరిష్కరించుకోవాలి తప్ప ఈ చెత్త కోర్టు దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళకూడదు. ఎందుకు? ఇద్దరికీ నష్టమే. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్వేస్, ఏ సమస్య వచ్చినా సరే ఇద్దరు కూర్చొని మాట్లాడుకోవాలి, అంతే అంతే తప్ప గోయింగ్ టు ఇండియన్ కోర్ట్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఏ సొల్యూషన్, బికాస్ అవర్ కోర్ట్స్ ఆర్ నోన్ ఫర్ ది ట్రాక్ రికార్డ్. ఏంటి ట్రాక్ రికార్డ్? 15 సంవత్సరాలు అయింది సిబిఐ కేసు ఫైల్ చేసి, ఇంతవరకు ఛార్జ్ షీటే ఫైల్ చేయలేదు. రూల్ ప్రకారం 90 days లోపు ఫైల్ చేయాలి, రూల్ ప్రకారం. అదే ఒక పేదవాడైతే ఇప్పటికి ఎప్పుడో జైల్లో వేసేయాలి. సో అంటే ఏంటి? యూ కెన్ పర్చేజ్ జస్టిస్, యూ కెన్ పర్చేజ్ జడ్జిమెంట్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ద మనీ. అవి ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్లీ రాడికల్ స్టేట్మెంట్, బట్ దట్స్ ఎ రియాలిటీ. డబ్బులు ఉంటే జడ్జినే కొనుక్కోవచ్చు, అవసరం ఉంటే జడ్జినే ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయించవచ్చు, జడ్జిమెంట్నే మార్చుకోవచ్చు. అందుకోసమే ఎకనామిక్ పవర్ విల్ డిసైడ్ ఆల్ అదర్ పవర్స్. పవర్లో లేకున్నా ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ ఎకనామికలీ పవర్ఫుల్ యూ కెన్ కంట్రోల్ ద పవర్. అలాగే చేస్తున్నారు. అపోజిషన్ పార్టీలో ఉంటే పవర్ కంట్రోల్ చేయట్లేదా? చేస్తున్నారు. సో దట్స్ వై 4-5 years సర్వీస్ చేయాలి, ఒక 5,000-10,000 కోట్లు వెనక్కి వేసుకోవాలి, తర్వాత వీ హ్యావ్ టు చేంజ్ ద పవర్, దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు బికమ్ పవర్ స్టార్. సో లుక్ ఎట్ సార్, ఇన్ని చేసినా ఏమైనా బ్రైబ్ జరుగుతుందా సార్? ఎస్. యూ కెన్ నాట్ డూ మైక్రో మేనేజ్మెంట్, బట్ ఓవరాల్ వేర్ ఎవర్ పాసిబుల్ NAPA will come and take the sample, they will test, they will verify all that. This is called as NAPA, E-way bill, GST appellate tribunal. సో ఇది కూడా ఎగ్జామ్లో అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది. సో పుట్ హెడింగ్ E-way bill, ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ వే బిల్, E-way bill రాయాలి. కథలు అయిపోయాయి. రిప్లై ఇచ్చారా వాట్సాప్లో? E-way bill, ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ వే బిల్. According to GST Act, if the value of the goods is above 50,000, if the value of the goods is above 50,000, when they are being transported, the details have to be entered. The details have to be entered in GST portal. In GST portal, PORTL, portal. It contains the details of place of origin, transit, 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 place of origin, transit, destination, permitted weight, etc. ఓకే. సో జనరల్ ఈ సినిమాలో చూస్తాం కదా, డబ్బులు ఇస్తానే ట్రక్ వదిలేస్తారు. ఆ ట్రక్లో ఏముంటాయి? ఇల్లీగల్ యాక్టివిటీస్. సడన్గా హీరో ఎంటర్ అవుతాడు. సో దట్ ఈస్ రియాలిటీ ఆల్సో. కాకపోతే సినిమాలో వాళ్ళకి అనుకూలంగా వాడుకున్నారు అంతే. దమ్ముంటే పట్టుకోరా షకావత్. సో షకావత్ తెలియదని అనుకుంటున్నారా? తెలుసు. వాళ్ళే వాళ్ళు మోసం చేస్తున్నారు అంటే సినిమాలో. సో దట్ ఈస్ రియల్లీ ఆల్సో ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. దీస్ కల్డ్ ఈ-వే బిల్. దెన్ నాపా, NAPA, NAPA full form National Anti-Profiteering, PROFITEERING, National Anti-Profiteering Authority. It was established under GST Act. It was established under GST Act to take action on tax evasion and tax avoidance. To take action on tax evasion and tax avoidance related to GST. Tax evasion and tax avoidance related to GST. It examines implementation of GST. It examines implementation of GST and provides appropriate guidelines. So this is called as NAPA. Then GST Appellate Tribunal. GST Appellate Tribunal, TRIBUNAL. It refers to GST Appellate Tribunal. It refers to an organization established to resolve GST related disputes. To resolve GST related disputes with the help of tax experts and judicial experts. With the help of tax experts and judicial experts. Okay. As of now, the order of the appeal is, as of now, the order of the appeal is from lowest to the highest. Adjudicating authority, adjudicating, ADJUDICATING, adjudicating authority. Next level, appellate authority. Next level, appellate authority. Next level, GST Appellate Tribunal. GST Appellate Tribunal. Next level, High Court. Next level, Supreme Court. సార్ అంతకుముందు జిఎస్టీ అప్లై ట్రిబ్యునల్ లేదా? లేదు. సో డైరెక్ట్లీ దే సపోజ్ టు గో టు హూమ్? High Court. But already courts are overburdened with so many cases. That's the reason why. And the court person may not have tax related knowledge also. That's the reason why GST Appellate Tribunal was created. So just to summarize what all we covered. GST is direct tax or indirect tax? Indirect tax. How can we say that GST is indirect tax? It is passed on to consumer. Which constitutional amendment bill is related to GST? 122. Which constitutional amendment act? 101. When GST day is celebrated? July 1st, not August 1st, July 1st. So which committee suggested implementation of GST? Vijay Kelkar committee. So was GST applicable to Jammu and Kashmir when it was implemented? No. Now is it implemented? Yes. Why GST is called as single point destination based tax? It is based on place of consumption. Apart from that, how GST reduce cascading effect? Only at one place only tax is collected. So after that we said, in GST, tax base is widened, tax rates are, multiple slabs are introduced. So GST buoyancy is increasing for the government. What does it mean, sir? Income collected from GST is increasing as GDP is growing. Apart from that, GST Council is constitutional body or statutory body? Constitutional body. Who is the chairman of GST Council? Union Finance Minister. So which article? 279A. Who has more voting power in GST Council? States. 2/3. Center? 1/3. Then we said GST generally follows dual structure, but IGST is applicable to adjust between the production state and the consumption state if place of production is different, place of consumption is different states. Okay, suppose a question came, intra-state production, intra-state consumption, is IGST applicable? Intra, INTRA, intra-state production, intra-state consumption, IGST is applicable? Not applicable. Intra means what? Within the state. Production happened in the same state, consumption is also happening in the same state. So IGST is not applicable. Production and consumption is interstate. Interstate. So place of production is one state, place of consumption is other state. Then IGST is applicable. So after that we said just now. So GST compensation. Who promised compensation to whom? Center promised compensation because VAT was collected by whom? Production state. But GST is collected by whom? Consumption states. That's the reason why compensation was guaranteed. For how many years? 5 years. So then, what is the purpose of collecting GST compensation cess? This will be used for compensation to the states. Just now we covered GSTIN. How many numbers are there? 15 digit alphanumeric number. So GST network is completely owned by the government. There is a proposal to 100% to be owned, but right now public-private collaborated network. Then e-way bill, according to the previous year question only, the consignment value is above how much? 50,000. E-way bill is compulsory. So to prevent GST evasion, GST avoidance, which organization is working? NAPA, National Anti-Profiteering Authority. So what is the objective of establishment of GST Appellate Tribunal? What is the objective of establishing GST Appellate Tribunal? To resolve the disputes related to GST instead of directly going to High Court and Supreme Court. Okay, this is brief idea about taxes, direct taxes, indirect taxes, and story about GST also. Okay, thank you.